This is Mount Olympus, the legendary home of the 12 Olympians, and this is me. And I am stuck here. Over the next 100 days, I'll be undergoing many different quests, where the stakes get higher and higher each day. Will I survive these 100 days and make my way back down the mountain? Or will I fail my trials and be stuck here forever? This is 100 Days on Mount Olympus. On the first day, I focused mainly on getting resources needed to survive the next coming days. I collected wood, struggled to craft a crafting table, and yes, that is my own design of the crafting table. I'm no artist, don't judge me. And then finally, after many struggles, I crafted wooden tools. I'm a gamer, can't you tell? While doing this challenge, I chose to work my way up the mountain to find better resources and found myself struggling in the snow. So I did what any elite gamer would do. I used all my resources I just collected to build upwards. I decided collecting stone was the next move I needed to do if I wanted to move further along in this challenge. And what comes after stone? Iron! So I built myself a stone pickaxe, not before collecting some very much needed coal. After getting the basic resources for day 1, I made my way to the other side of the mountain and dug myself into a small area for the night, because without a bed, my likelihood for surviving is very low. As the night drags onwards, let's talk about the concept of this challenge. I am stuck on Mount Olympus. I can't leave this mountain in any way until I am worthy. There is a barrier that stops me from walking further down the mountain. I have to complete a series of different challenges every day to deem worthy so Zeus opens the portal for me to go home. I hope you stick around for the entire journey. It's day 2. I started my day by making my small area that I stayed in bigger for more room for my stuff that I would collect along the way. I've decided that my starter base is going to be deep in the mountain because it feels much more secure than outside. While the morning was fresh, I decided that with the iron I smelted yesterday, I was going to make my first set of armour, which is the iron chest plate. Then I went out and collected more resources to start making my base look more like a home, which I worked on for the next 3 days. During the renovation of my home, I found iron ore in my walls, so I made more armour. Food has become an emergency need right now. If I don't have it soon, it doesn't matter how secure my home is, I'm going to starve. That's got to be my next quest for when it's morning. As I came into day 5, I decided today was the day I was going to explore the surrounding areas. I gathered the correct resources for my journey ahead, and just as I was about to walk through the door, something appeared in my vision.
I am Zeus, the king and protector of this very mountain you stand on.
Hello. Not to be rude, but can you tell me why I'm here?
As the days go on, you will undergo different tasks, each with different levels of difficulty. Some related to the gods that also live on this very mountain. Others that will help you earn the title of the Worthy Warrior.
Again, I don't want to be a worthy warrior.
Nonsense. When there's a new task that you will need to complete, you will know. On the 100th day, you will see me again. I shall see you then. We will be watching.
Okay, this is fine. At least we know what we are doing here. I just have to somehow show that I am worthy. But worthy of what? I think I'm going to stay inside today, just in case I get set a task. Yeah, just in case. Maybe I should focus on decorating a bit more inside for the time being. Would you look at that? It's nighttime. Let's go to bed. The next few days after Zeus's visit was spent waiting around for something to happen. Not wanting to wait around any longer, I decided I was going to explore the surrounding areas, which was originally my task before I got visited by Zeus. So I gathered the correct resources and started my journey. While exploring the mountains, I also have to keep a lookout for any type of food because it's been a long few days without it. While trying to make my way around the mountain safely, I found that the only animals I've seen so far are goats. As much as I didn't want to, this may be my only chance of gathering food, so I had to kill the goats when I came across them. After that traumatic experience, I noticed that the sun was making its way down, so I made my way back towards my little hole in the mountain, ready to fall asleep on the cold floor. Maybe the goal I set for myself tomorrow is to get the resources needed to finally make a bed. I put my food on to cook in the furnace throughout the night, which also worked as a source of warmth as well as having cooked food in the morning. As I awoken on day 9, I realised that when I was out exploring the mountain the day before, I didn't see anywhere that would suggest that people live here, like Zeus proclaimed. How big is this mountain? With that thought lingering in my mind, I decided to get ready for the task I set myself yesterday, to finally make a bed. Somehow, I just know I wouldn't be able to find a mattress this high up the mountain, so I did the next reasonable thing. I looked for nearby sheep, which found out to be a very daunting task. During the time I spent looking for sheep, day turned into night, and I found myself outside for the first time with the monsters that plague this mountain. While stuck in this predicament, I did the last possible option I saw possible to finish my set task. I very carefully killed the amount of spiders needed to make a bed. And by very carefully, I mean I almost died at every turn. I got jumped by these spiders. Slowly made my way back home, where I finally had the correct resources to finish my task and made my bed. I don't know if it's the freshness of waking up in a nice comfortable bed, or if it's something else, but today feels like a good day. Let's not waste this feeling. Time to get started with the day. Oh no. Don't start this now, it's supposed to be a good day. As I opened the chest that was placed right in front of my door, I realised there's only one item inside. I grabbed the book out of the chest and headed back inside. I opened the book, which read, "Your first task starts off simple and easier than most. The rest won't be. Do not put your guard down. This is your only warning. Your task for today is to find and craft the rest of your iron armour. Good luck." Okay, that seems simple enough. I could probably finish that before night comes. So the rest of day 10 was spent doing the first task set by Zeus. As night started rolling around, I made my way back home and started smelting all the iron I collected throughout the day. As I waited for the iron to smelt, I reflected back to the start of this journey and about how much has changed in only 10 days. Finally, the iron smelted, and I made the final pieces of my armour left before heading straight for bed. I woke up on day 11 expecting another task waiting for me outside my door, but it didn't come, so I decided today that I was going to spend my day making the journey to my house a lot easier. Because currently it's a severe health hazard and I don't want to fall to my death anytime soon. So I collected the closest resource to me, which is stone, and started making stairs going from my little hole in the wall to the floor. I think in the future I'm going to build bridges from each peak of the mountain to the other. The next few days were honestly not very eventful, so I used them to catch up on my rest and gather resources I was running low on. After fully stocking up on food and tools that I may need, I felt ready for the next coming days, so I wouldn't be caught off guard if I get another task to complete. As I opened the door on day 15, I saw that a chest has made its way back in front of it. Not wanting to delay any longer, I opened the chest and got the book from inside it. Your second task is focusing on your knowledge of us. Behind you is a canvas, a stand, and a set of paints. We want you to paint from the knowledge that you have Mount Olympus, the house of the gods. Okay, I'm not good at art. Also, this mountain isn't exactly giving me any good ideas from what it actually looks like. I'm going to have to think back about when I learned it. Okay, I guess I'll just start with the mountain and add the details later. Okay, this is getting there. What else can I add? Maybe some more details to the temple. They're starting to look more real. Okay, can't get any better than this. I think this is done. I don't want to accidentally ruin it somehow. Oh, it's dark already. Did I really spend all day painting? Well, I guess it's time for bed. The tasks I've set for myself today is to craft more of the basic tools needed to achieve any tasks I may be set throughout the days in the future. The tools I want to make are an axe, a sword, and another pickaxe, so I set out collecting all the materials needed and crafted the items. If I'm going to be stuck on this mountain for 100 days being watched by the gods, I have to make sure I'm not doing anything to upset them. So today I decided that I was going to collect all the resources needed to make a farm, to dedicate to the goddess Demeter. I collected a lot of dirt, crafted an iron shovel and a hoe, and looked around for the correct spot needed to make this area, while also looking for seeds along the way that I can use for the start of this farm. I decided after collecting all these resources, I was going to start the process of building this the very next day. Day 18 is the day I started the first installments of my farm dedicated to the goddess Demeter. I set out the farm, which will be upgraded in later dates to be more of a suitable offering to her. Wanting to be on the good side of the gods, I decided the best way to get around to that is to supply small offerings towards each of them, by also building a fire pit, which is often used for offerings to reach the gods. This is something I'm going to try and use every day during my time here. On day 20, I was tested on my knowledge of the 12 legendary Olympians, with a chance of gaining some cool rewards. How many gods live in Mount Olympus? A. 14, B. 12, C. 15. Well, obviously it's B. 12. Who is the god of festivals and wine? A. Athena, B. Dionysus, or C. Poseidon? Well, Poseidon is the god of the ocean, and Athena is the goddess of wisdom. So I'm gonna go with B. Who is the god of travel? A. Hephaestus, B. Hermes, or C. Artemis? I'm gonna go with B. Hera is the wife of which Olympian? A. Zeus, B. Apollo, C. Ares? It's obviously Zeus, so I'm gonna go with Zeus. Okay, I think I did okay. I got rewarded with some cool items. I awoke into a large rumbling sound in the distance. I guess it's time to see what all the fuss is about. I hope I don't get lost. As I travel throughout Mount Olympus, I finally come across a massive temple that I'm honestly surprised I hadn't actually seen before. I walk inside and see a long chest with nothing around it, with only one book inside. The book reads the words, "Your journey begins now." Begins now? It's day 21. With that note, I decided to travel back to my little hole in the mountain and get ready for the rest of the journey. I was assigned a task to collect every type of flower for a garden, which honestly I'm not sure I saw any during my time here, so I spent the day gathering a surprising amount of flowers ready for the garden. I was up and ready to do the second part of my task assigned yesterday, to build a small flower patch from the flowers I gathered the day before. But before I got started on that, I took a few flowers that I had collected yesterday to the fire pit, where I decided to give my first blessing to the goddess Hera, and ask for her blessing. I then spent the day designing the flower patch, which I honestly think looks very nice. I woke up on day 24 with the idea of creating a nice pathway to each of my builds, making nice and pretty. By collecting the resources needed for this, let me ask you a question. Do you prefer voiceovers while watching these type of videos, or is live commentary something you enjoy? I'm interested to know. Now, I want to make this path very rusticy. Is that a word? I'll show a picture. I feel like it provides a mystic kind of vibe, you know? Makes me feel like I'm traveling in another world. Obviously, when I get more tasks that link to designing other builds, I'll just add more paths, and it would all add together, trust me. You're just going to have to trust me, okay? But for now, I think the start of this path looks okay. I can make some improvements later. I still don't know how I'm going to build a pathway up the mountain, or make it look good, but I'll get there when I get there. Okay, now, before the days are over with, you know what we have to do. Give an offering to one of the gods. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to offer a specific one today. I guess it's just for all of them, if that's how it works. I remember reading before that anything with good intentions is suitable for an offering, so I'm just going to work with that. As I place these offerings down, I thank the deities that reside on this mountain for the safety as I also reside here. I ask that you continue to bless me while I continue on for these 100 days. If there's something that you expect of me during my time here, I ask that you please let me know. Thank you, blessed be. Okay, it's time for rest. I started the morning fresh and early. Today was the day I was going to explore the cave hidden in the depth of the mountain. Now, between you and me, I'm not actually that good at Minecraft. I know. Could you tell? So I have to be careful when exploring the cave, because nobody wants to be the person that died on day 25. So before I left, I had to ensure I had everything that is needed when going cave diving, which is lots of food, extra iron in case my tool breaks, and of course, a crafting table. Also, I decided to take the book that was left in the temple because I have to use it in some way, or it's wasteful. Now, I hope you know what I'm going to do before we begin this journey. If you didn't, that's okay, you'll learn. We're going to give an offering to the gods for protection on this journey, just to be on the safe side. After giving an offering, I made my way down the mountain into the not-so-secret holes. Upon my discovery of the cave, I decided to write in my book of the things I see. The cave is very big, not a lot going on in it, but I've collected a lot of iron from the walls. For some reason, the cave has a lot of sharp spikes coming from everywhere, it seems. Hard to move around. I hear a lot of noises that sound like they're coming from inside the cave. I think I'm going to come back and investigate the noises a different day, when I'm more prepared. I ensured I had everything I collected and made my way out of the cave back home. Today's quest, I got assigned to collect a certain amount of resources. I need to collect 60 pieces of stone, 60 pieces of dirt, and 60 wood logs. And different types of blocks I see along the way. I don't actually know what this is for, but this feels like free labor. I started off with the easiest one, collecting stone, because I don't know if you've noticed, but it's kind of everywhere. Then I collected dirt and wood, as well as all the blocks I saw on my journey. After I collected them all, I did my daily offering and then made my way back home. I spent day 27 making my base look more like the aesthetic of Mount Olympus, because right now, it looks a little basic. Remember, I'm only here for 100 days, so it doesn't have to look like a masterpiece. And here we are. My basic little house has turned into a magical little home in the mountain. Honestly, quite happy with it. Considering the time and resources I had, it has definitely improved. Another day, another quest. But this quest is special. Let's call it Dedication Day. I have to make a shrine for one of the 12 Olympians of my choice. Out of all the Olympians to choose, I decided my first choice was going to be Apollo. I'm not going to get into the tale of Apollo right now. That's going to be another dedicated day. I'm starting off by painting a picture dedicated to the symbol of him, which will be the dedicated piece for the shrine. Apollo's symbol is honestly a lot of different things, but the one I'm going to be doing is the lyre, because of his association with music and poetry. As an offering, I'm going to be giving him some of my food and water. The altar isn't going to be too big, but enough where you can see that it's dedicated to Apollo. At a later date, if I earn more rewards that I think connect well with him, I'll add more to the altar. This is what it looks like. I think it looks good. I hope he finds this as a good offering. I want to start making Mount Olympus look more intact and lively. We've got a flower patch and a small farm. The only thing missing is a fountain. Even better is that once we finish, this could be dedicated to the god Poseidon. So this is just like hitting two birds with one stone. I had to make a stone cutter to make a better polished block for the foundation of the fountain, because cobblestone just doesn't hit with everything. I don't want it to be that big, just something on the smaller size. This still looks pretty, and like it belongs in the mountain, with everything else. Okay, the only thing missing now is the water. I don't actually know where to get that from, so I'm going to hope for the best and ask Poseidon. That's how this kind of thing works, right? Here we go. I'm calling upon the deity Poseidon. I'm asking you to bless this fountain that I built for the mountain of Olympus. If this is up to your standard, I ask that you provide it with running water to finish it off. Thank you, blessed be. It worked! Thank you, Lord Poseidon. I am grateful. A lot has happened during the past 30 days. I'm going to spend today just relaxing and maybe documenting everything I've experienced in my book. I think my plan for the next 70 days is to learn new skills and continue my journey of building different monuments to make the mountain look a lot more fuller. Because it was just one temple. What's up with that? I think the more tasks I do, the more likely it is for me to be considered worthy in the eyes of the gods. And that makes it so I could finally leave. That shouldn't be so hard. But you never know in the world of the gods. I awoke on day 31, excited for what the day will bring. I'm hoping for a simple quest. I'm not quite sure I'm ready for anything harder as of yet. Okay, that quest seems simple enough. I have some saplings in my chest, which I can use to plant trees. And I'm sure I still have some flowers left over. This is good. Now I just have to find a good area. Maybe somewhere close to the flower patch, but not too close. I don't want it to take all the attention off the other builds. I think this spot will do just fine. Now all that's left to do is make it look pretty. Okay, that's it done. I like how it looks. Now guys, I'm just saying, I'm not that much of a builder, so don't be commenting on my builds. I hope this is suitable to the gods. Okay, I know I said I want to continue my journey of building, but that doesn't mean you have to set quests for it. I'm not good at building, please. Temples don't have to be that big. I'm sure I could do it in one day. I'm more worried about having enough resources. This temple took me 4 days to build. Can you believe it? I spent the first day just starting out the basic foundation of what I wanted to look like. I then ran out the materials really quickly, and I had to mine so I had enough. On day 1 of this build, I can honestly say I wasn't expecting the temple to go from this to this. Can you believe it? I'm actually quite proud. I don't know if you heard, but I'm not much of a builder. After this was complete, I spent the rest of the day inside, not before giving my daily offering, just in case the whole temple was enough. Yay! Another building task. At least this one doesn't have to be a grand thing. I think I'm gonna build the next one for Dionysus. If you didn't know, he's the god of wine and festivals. At least that's what he's known for. Just like I did with Apollo, I'm going to be painting his symbol to put in the middle of the shrine. The symbol I'm choosing will be grapes, to represent the wine, as well as putting different offerings around the shrine related to him. As you can see, the shrines kinda look similar, but each one will have different items that will make them linked to their respective Patreon. I like this one also. I think I'm getting better at this building thing. What's your opinion? Let me know. After all this building, today I just decided to do a simple task that I set for myself. The goals for today are rather simple. I have to stock up on food, stone, blocks, and repair the armor that may have gotten damaged during the days I've been here. So that's exactly what I did. A simple day, really. I'm glad the tasks are a bit calmer now. I don't want to jinx myself, but these are going good. And while I embark on this journey, I can collect resources as well. For future projects, I think I should write some stuff down in my journal so I don't forget the information. While travelling the surrounding areas of the mountain, I discovered that while the mountain is in fact covered in snow, those sharp spikes from inside the cave can be seen just around on the floor. I think that could be important. And rather remarkably, I've seen bees this far up. I've still yet to see where they've come from, but I need to find out. Honey is a good offering to give to the gods. Other than that, the only animals I've seen are goats. Maybe it's too cold for any other type. After writing down my information, I made my way back home to go to bed. I spent day 39 collecting different resources that I can use in the future for offerings for each of the gods. Really, anything could be offerings. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It can be as simple as a flower, a bit of food, as well as drinks. The best option is to research your chosen deity and go with the flow. If the deity is for you, you will know. And you never know, they could be calling for you right now and you don't even know it. Ooh, a treasure hunt? How exciting. But this mountain is big, how am I going to find the items? I am hidden in somewhere dark, cold and scary. It's a riddle. I've never been good at riddles. Somewhere dark and scary? The only thing I could think of is that cave I went to. I guess I have to try there. Honestly, if I'm going to be travelling all this way and I'm wrong, I'm probably going to cry. Actual tears. Oh, I see something. I must be in the right place. You found me. But that would be too easy. I'm hidden somewhere considered home. Okay, this is kinda hard. Would it be considered home to me or to the gods? I think I should check my home first. While I'm walking, have you subscribed? This is me calling you out. Press that button. Thank you. Okay, I hope it's here. And there's nothing here. I guess the temple would have been a better answer. I just have to go all the way over there. Okay, there it is. I hope this is the last one. I'm getting tired. A hole in the mountain where mortals reside. Okay, that has to be my house. I'm the only person on this mountain. While I'm walking, how about a fact of the day? Did you know Athena was born from Zeus's head, fully grown? Nice little fact for you. Okay, here goes nothing. Oh, it's actually here. Oh, it's full of stuff. I guess I'll read the book first. Congratulations on completing your first task set by Athena. This task focused on wisdom, and you successfully completed each riddle. Your reward is in the box. Oh, that's so nice. Maybe this will be useful in the next coming days. Thank you for this, Lady Athena. Time for bed. It's been a long day. After yesterday's task, this day is a much-needed rest day. Thank the heavens it's just a painting day. Maybe I can paint some offerings for the shrines ahead of time. Maybe a painting for Aphrodite. Or Artemis. Well, I've got all day. I can do a few. I think maybe I should paint some flowers first. Simple but effective. Maybe for Hera's shrine. I'm pretty sure her flowers are lotus. That should be easy to paint. Let's get started with that first and think of the rest later. Did you know that Hera is the goddess of marriage, women and childbirth? She is also proclaimed to be the queen of Mount Olympus because of her marriage to Zeus. Okay, that painting is done. I think the next one is going to be Artemis. I'm going to try and paint a simple, which if you didn't know, is a bow and arrow. Did you know that she is the goddess of the hunt and the moon? Which it's believed that after the Olympians took over, she took on that role. That's 2 paintings done. Honestly, I'm quite proud of them. I think they would be suitable for the next altars. It's been a good day. I'm thinking it's time for bed. A parkour course? Why is there a course here? I'm not that good at Minecraft, guys. Will I just die if I fall? I'm actually kind of scared. I've made it this far. I don't want to die from parkour. Okay. Let's just do this. God, I hope it's simple. Is this it? I don't think I can do this. Cue the dramatic music. I think this is the last jump. I did it. Let's never do that again. I think my heart is having palpitations. How am I supposed to get down? Oh, that quest is kind of nice. I'm guessing the poetry is going to be at the temple. So I started my journey towards the temple for the lesson of poetry. When I walked into the temple, I found a chest with books. Poetry is a form of artistic writing. It can come in many forms. It can be short or long. Poetry allows people to describe emotions that they can't outright talk about. Poetry can rhyme, but it doesn't have to. Free form is a type of poetry that allows people to just write. It doesn't have to rhyme at all. It allows that free feeling of just writing. Rhyming in poetry is a common practice, and one that is well known. That was interesting. Makes me want to write my own type of poetry. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it rhyme though. I can barely speak as it is. Well, thank you Apollo for the knowledge you provided for us. Something about these type of tasks just makes me love it. It's just so fun to do. I'm going to choose Aphrodite. I knew I should have painted her next. The beginning of the day was spent building the altar for Aphrodite. When that was finished, I started on the painting to add as the main piece. I'm going to be painting her symbol, which is actually a number of different things, such as shells, myrtles, doves, and many more. I'm going to attempt to paint a shell with myrtles around it. I think that would be pretty. And here it is. I don't actually know how I feel about the execution of this painting, but I think it goes well with the design of the altar. After finishing the painting, I just put down little items that will count as little offerings for the goddess and made my way back home to sleep. There was no task waiting for me on day 45, so I decided I was going to do improvements on my farm dedicated to Demeter. I harvested all the crops from the farm and planted the new seeds in their place. I also expanded the farm a little bigger to be able to grow more varieties of crops. I used the seeds that were given as a reward during Athena's quest to grow different types of crops that I wouldn't have been able to attain before. The crops I harvested at the beginning of the day was used for some much needed food resource. By also using the rest as an offering to Demeter at the fire pit. After being tired of climbing down the mountain each day to do tasks, I decided that today was a great day to finally build the bridges I've wanted to build since the beginning. I collected all the resources needed for this task and got to work. I think I've connected every possible mountain peak to each other, which honestly will help me a lot in the long run. And it looks so good too. I'm actually really proud. Mount Olympus is really getting there now. Okay. This task is a cool concept, but honestly I'm not the girl for the quest. I know I've gotten better at building, but come on, where is this even going to go? After some very serious contemplating, I started the foundation of what would be the art gallery. Luckily, I had some good blocks as a reward from Athena's task, so the building actually has some colour instead of just different types of stone. This building got work done for 3 days. Consider yourself lucky you didn't see the tears. Now all that's left to do is add the art. Now, most of my paintings are being used for the shrines dedicated to the gods, but the Mount Olympus one can go straight in there. I guess I just have to paint more. It's the first day of the Olympian. It's the day of Apollo. These are going to be where I spend a day focused on one of the Olympians, while talking about their tales and doing tasks related to them. So while I go to Apollo's shrine, let's talk a little bit about him. This is Apollo. He's considered one of the most complex of the Greek gods. He's known for being the god of many things really, such as poetry, music, healing, the plague, prophecy, the truth, and art. He's also considered to be the god of many other things. He was also viewed to be one of the first gods to have a same-sex relationship. That's a nice little fact for you. Let's talk about the origin of Apollo's symbol, the lyre. Apollo is also known as the god of cowherds and kept sacred red cows, which Hermes stole 50 of them as a joke. The only thing that stopped Apollo from attacking Hermes was his invention. Apollo was so entranced with the lyre that he chose to exchange his entire herd for the instrument. As the final part of Apollo Day emerges, let's talk about the offerings suited for Apollo. What you need to know is that if you want to give offerings to the gods, you do not have to do it in an extravagant way. It can be as simple as an item of food or water. Keep that in mind. For Apollo, a few examples could be a drawing, a poem, a song, a glass of fresh water, and a portion of what you make for dinner. You don't have to spend money, it's all about your intentions. I hope you like these little segment days about the gods. I'm going to try to make these videos entertaining as well as educational. What do you think? The task for day 52 was to go back into the cave and find diamonds. Now, unless the cave suddenly grew diamonds, I'm not so sure we're going to find any. Last time I was here, there was nothing but iron, and a few of those very sharp spikes, so I'm not really that confident. Now, I'm not really sure if it works this way, but nothing hurts to try. So before we leave, I'm going to stop at the fire pit and ask for a little blessing to help me do this task. Okay, here goes nothing. Gods and goddesses of this mountain, I'm calling upon you to bless me while I do this task you set for me. To help me succeed, I ask that you support me to find the diamonds needed. Thank you. Bless be. I don't know if that will work, but I had to try something. This is going to take a long time. It took me the whole Minecraft day to get just 6 diamonds. So I'd say technically it's a success, but also not. I couldn't find any more, so I decided I was just going to go home. A different god actually set a quest. What kind of weapon should I make for it? I'm obviously going to use some of the diamonds I collected yesterday. I'm thinking maybe a diamond sword. That's kind of cool. I think maybe he would appreciate the effort gone into that. Yeah, I'll do that. Do I have any wood left over? I'll just make that into some sticks. Grab the 2 diamonds and BAM! A new and pristine diamond sword. What do I do now? Should I leave it at the fire pit? That's where I drop all the other offerings. Maybe he'll know to pick it up there. After dropping off the diamond sword I made for Hephaestus at the offering place, I made my way back home. I've always wanted to learn archery. Doing it in Minecraft is probably the next best thing. So do I have to make the bow myself, or is it going to be like a cutesy little area with targets? Oh, this is exciting. I guess I'm just going to have to follow that light. Where did it go? I swear it was just over the hill. I'm just going to continue going forward. This looks so exciting. Okay, I don't know if I'm actually going to be good, but everyone knows practice makes perfect. I think I should just practice the ability to shoot first, and then maybe I'll try and hit the targets. I'm definitely getting better. Okay, let's try the real thing now. I'm hitting the board. All I have to do is get a bullseye. So close. A couple more tries. Yes, I did it. I guess you could say I'm a gamer. Put me on Valorant. So like, can I just keep the bow and arrows? It will just go to waste here. I may need them for future tasks. I'm just going to bring them with me. I hope that doesn't upset anyone. Day 55 says to work on my hunting skills. Now I don't know about you, but I thought my skills with the bow yesterday was kind of top notch. So I don't really think I need to work on them, but I am running low on food. So I guess I can hit 2 birds with 1 stone. And collect food while also making the gods happy that the tasks are being done. Maybe this is another Artemis task. They are the goddess of the hunt after all. I hope she's happy with my efforts. I think I did very well. I spent all day hunting and managed to stock up quite well on the goat meat. That should last me for another 2 days at least. While also improving on my already amazing archery skills. So a successful day on all accounts. The day ended with me leaving some goat meat as an offering at the fire pit for the gods and goddesses and thanking them for their blessings and protection. More riddles? I hope they're as easy as last time. I'm not that good at them. Is this a trick question? Isn't this just about Athena herself? I'm pretty sure she's the goddess of wisdom and war. So I'm just gonna go with Athena. Does that mean I got it right? It flashed green, so I'm taking that as the correct answer. Oh, I don't actually think I know that one. I know Hades is the leader of the underworld, but he's not considered as an Olympian, so it can't be him. Could it be Athena again? I don't know, I think I'm just going to go with Athena again. Yeah, I didn't know that one. I didn't expect it to be right. Oh, I know that one. It's Hephaestus. We just did a quest for him. I knew it. I'm smart, guys. The last one was just a bluff. Is that it? Oh. Well, I got 2 out of 3. That's kind of a success. Another day for the Olympian, in case you forgot, which, really? It's been like 10 minutes. How could you forget? It's a day spent focused on one Olympian, and today's one is the goddess Hera. As we haven't made a dedicated shrine to Hera yet, we're going to go to the flower patch. This is the goddess Hera. She is the queen of the gods and goddesses. She is the goddess of marriage, women, the sky, and the stars of heaven. But some would also say she's the goddess of jealousy, because of her behaviour linked to her husband Zeus' infidelity, which she didn't take very lightly to the women Zeus had relations with. Though many would say he may be the problem, but I guess that doesn't matter. All in all, she is considered a very important symbol in Greek mythology. Whether her role is considered evil or kind, I'll leave that up to you. Some of the offerings you may give Hera ranges from a bunch of different items such as honey, pomegranates, wine, flowers such as poppies, lilies and white roses, and absolutely anything to do with peacocks. As always, it's up to you what you're able to offer the deities as offerings. Don't make yourself fall into a troubled place trying to get the best of the best for the altars if you can't afford to. It is not needed. Do you like these little days? Comment down your opinions. I'm dying to find out. Oh, this links to yesterday. I'm kinda glad because having a day yesterday without a dedicated shrine kinda made me feel bad. I'm not going to make it very big. I still need room for everything else. I still have 40 days left. The day was spent with me building a nice little monument dedicated to Hera, and I think it's very cute. Nothing too extravagant, but not basic either. I think it's perfect. Deciding to take this as a daily offering, I went home to bed. In case you're wondering, yes, this still is my favourite one of the tasks. Can you guess which god or goddess I'm going to pick? If you guessed Zeus, you would in fact be wrong. I'm picking Hephaestus. He is known as the god of fire, so it's only fitting that his shrine will have fire. I spent the first part of day 59 building a shrine suitable for him. When that was done, I started on the painting for the middle, which as you should know by now, is the centerpiece. I think the symbol I'm going to paint for him is going to be an anvil with flames. I think that goes very well with the fact he's the god of fire, as well as a blacksmith. I don't really know how well that's going to go, because guys, I'm not a painter. Okay, this is the painting finished. All that's left to do now is add the flames on the shrine, as well as any other offerings, and then call it a day. I hope he likes it. I think it goes very well. The quest for day 60, you would say is really simple. And it is, if you are not me. Because quite frankly, I've never made a banner in Minecraft. Let alone adding it to a shield. So I do not know how this goes. Now, I will add that I did have to look up on Google, because I honestly had no clue. I just want to give a disclaimer that will not look like what you think a good shield will look like. This is my first attempt. Please keep your opinions to yourself, thank you. Okay, this is the final product, as you could say. Yeah. I think it looks alright. Kind of. Just bear in mind, I've never did this before, okay? I woke up to a quest assigned by Artemis, which is a hunting challenge. But not just any hunting challenge, it's a time limit challenge. I'm given 5 minutes to hunt as many entities as I can in that time. And you've seen me, I've been cruising through the bow. It's kind of a talent. So for sure, this task is going to be an absolute breeze. It was kind of a breeze. I just kind of struggled with finding things to hunt, but I think I did okay. It's the day of Hermes. I've decided to paint the symbols of Hermes while telling you the tales of him. The symbol I'm going to be painting is the caduceus, which quite frankly looks very hard, so bear with me. This is Hermes. Like the other gods, he is the god of many different things, such as trade, travellers, thievery, merchants, and other things. But he's also well known for being the messenger of the Olympic gods. Hermes' key symbols are his winged hat, sandals, his caduceus, which I am painting currently, and his shepherd's pouch. If Hermes is someone you would like to worship, consider giving him these items as offerings: honey, turtle-shaped objects, money, and written messages. Did you know that Hermes often stole from the rich and gave to the poor? Like the tale of the Robin Hood. Like many of the other gods and goddesses, it is said that Hermes has many children. 8 written down in record. The most known of his children, in my humble opinion, is Pan, who is often depicted as a horned man with the legs of a goat. Which one has been your favourite day of the Olympians so far? Mine is Apollo, obviously. The task set for day 63 is quite simple, because I was given rewards for previous tasks. I was given a handful of paper, so I don't have to physically make the paper myself. So all I had to do was walk around the mountain and make the maps. A quite easy way to spend my day. The quest for today was to kill 15 spiders, so that means I have to be out of my safe house at night. So I spent the day preparing for the night. I ensured my armor and weapons were up to full health, and that I had food ready. As soon as it hit dark, I made my way outside to try and complete this challenge. And it took a long time. And I almost died. So many times. This was unnecessary hard. And honestly, it probably wouldn't have been for anyone else. But, you know, I'm a gamer, so we move. The god I've chosen to make the shrine for today is the man himself. Yes, that's right. I'm finally making one for Zeus. As always, I began the day building the foundations of the shrine. When that was done, I focused on the painting that sits on the center. For Zeus's painting, I did his lightning bolt, obviously, which I'm pretty sure is the thing that he's most known for. After it was done, I placed it down along with the other items which I used as offerings for him. Just as I was about to leave, lightning came down and hit the shrine. And quite frankly, I'm taking that as a sign he liked it, because otherwise, that's quite rude. But you never know. I awoke on day 66 to a well-deserved relaxation day. I'm taking the time to just sit back and reflect on the past 66 days. My time on Mount Olympus is almost coming to an end. It's hard to believe in the things I've accomplished in such little time. I've met Zeus, I've built a farm, I've been fighting monsters for goodness sake. This wouldn't have happened if I didn't end up stuck here. I'm excited for the next 34 days and what it will bring, but I still very much would like to go home. I woke up bright and early, and what's that I hear? It's Aphrodite Day. Who is that, you ask? What are you, uncultured? I'm kidding. Aphrodite is known as the Olympian goddess of love and beauty. She remains as one of the most influential deities in Greek mythology. Yet, history can't seem to agree where she originated from. Aphrodite is the goddess of love, so it's fair to say she found herself with a fair share of lovers, many of which she conceived children with. 19 to be exact, if the tales are said to be true. But never mind that. Let's talk about the symbols of Aphrodite. Her symbols consist of swans, mirrors, shells, myrtles, roses, doves, and sparrows, which can also be used as great offering items if she is someone you would like to worship, as well as other items such as fruit, pennies, and other sweet items. Remember, it's all about the intent. Just share what you love and it should work fine. As I opened my eyes on day 68, I thought today would be a quite nice day. Maybe relaxing. I soon learned I was in fact wrong, because I learned the quest that is set for me today is by Hermes. And I'm sure you're wondering, what's so wrong with that? But let me tell you, dear watcher, it wasn't a simple task like delivering messages. No, it was in fact travel from one part of the mountain to the next, twice. I don't know if you know this, but Hermes can fly. I cannot. Do you know how long that is going to take? It took me all day to walk from one side of the mountain to the other twice. It literally started to get dark. I do not want to hear nothing about laziness ever again. Thank you. Now, I feel like if we're going to talk about all the tales of the Olympians, we have to talk about someone. And even though he's not considered an Olympian, he was involved in the fight against the Titans. And yes, I am in the cave. I felt this setting was really fitting for the tale. Can you guess who? Let's talk about Hades. Quite frankly, Hades is one of my favourite gods to learn about. I just find him being the god of the underworld so fascinating. Hades was given the underworld as his domain when he defeated Kronos with his brothers and sisters. Obviously, Hades has had his controversial things, just like the other gods. And this includes Persephone herself, who he is married to. But honestly, there are many different stories about that myth that talks about whether it was forced or not. So who really knows? Hades is obviously not seen as a favourable deity because of his link to death. It reminds people that death is inevitable. So they were afraid of mentioning his name, and they were afraid of him. But that doesn't mean they didn't respect him, because they did. Honestly, I think it's a little silly, because the thought of there being something after death is quite comforting to me personally. But yeah, he's one of my favourites. What's your opinion on Hades? Do you agree with the media's perception of him? Or do you like him? She is the goddess of hunt and wilderness. Today's day of the deity is the goddess Artemis. If you're still holding on in this video, thank you. I know it's way longer than normal. You may as well hit that subscribe button. Anyways, back to Artemis. This is Artemis, the goddess of hunt and wilderness. Because of who she is, she has the ability to turn herself and others into animals. It is also said she has the ability of healing and control over nature. Her distinctive attributes were her bow and arrow. Obviously, she's the goddess of the hunt. But another would be her hunting dogs that trail beside her. Artemis is the twin sister of the Olympian god Apollo. She was the first to be born, and is said to have assisted her mother in the birth of Apollo. Her parents are Zeus and Leto. Much like her half-sister Athena, Artemis didn't have any children, and she was never wed. She spent her days playing and dancing in the forest surrounded by nymphs and wild animals. And honestly, that kind of sounds like the life. To end this day, I'm going to give some arrows from my bow as an offering for Artemis at the fire pit. What did you think of her story? Spending 71 days in Mount Olympus allows you to see and hear all the tales surrounding the magical landscape. And well, I guess it's my turn to craft it. Now, it's obvious that I don't have the time to write a story in one day, but I can write a mean logline. Now, you just have to hear me out here. It's a little bit iffy, but that's the beauty of it all. I'm thinking of something on the lines of a girl being born a human, like everybody else in the world, but what's happening? Why is the pull to the forest getting deeper and deeper? Will she survive the pull if she's going to step foot in it? Why is her body changing? Nails don't grow that long. What is happening? Why is she hearing whispers in the trees? What is a dryad? Now, isn't that a good logline? Are you following? Do you see my vision? I quite frankly think this, once polished up, will be a tale for the ages. You're just gonna have to trust me here. This is gonna become a serious tale. I promise. Whose shrine am I deciding to build today, I hear you ask? Well, it's time to build Demeter's. If you remember in the beginning, I built a farm dedicated to Demeter, so I think it's only fitting that her shrine will be in the area of it. I think you've realised by now, I'm trying to make every shrine linked to the theme related to the deity it's connected to, just like the fire with Hephaestus' shrine. Demeter's is going to be surrounded with her crops. I think it's fitting. Sue me. I carefully built Demeter's shrine, making sure not to damage the farm life around it, and started adding various crops and grains to her shrine to make it look like it's always been part of the farm. While that was done, I made sure to start with the painting, which is always the dedicated piece for the centre. I'm attempting to paint Demeter's main symbol as the offering piece, which is the cornucopia, as you can clearly see. It's going to be quite a challenge, but if these 100 days have taught me anything, it's that I can quite frankly do anything. It may just take a little bit of time. I think that's as best as it's going to get. You can kind of see what it's supposed to be. What you got to remember, guys, is that the love is there. And quite frankly, that's all that matters. I've added the finishing touches to the shrine and placed down any remaining items as offerings and made my way back home. It's the day of the Olympian, and today's one is making me excited. Today we're going to be talking about the goddess of wisdom herself. This is Athena, known by many as the goddess of wisdom and war. She is the patron deity of Athens, which was named in her honour after a contest between her and Poseidon. Athena is the daughter of Zeus. It is said that she was produced without a mother, so her story began when she fully emerged grown from his forehead. One of Athena's main symbols is the owl. It is said the owl sat upon Athena's shoulder and whispered the truths of the world to her. I personally think that even if you didn't know about mythology, you will have heard about Athena and her strategic skills in warfare. She's absolutely one of my favourite deities to talk about. I'm sure you're all wondering, why have you waited so long to tell the tale of Mount Olympus? That's what it's all about. And I could say I forgot to, but I'm not going to do that, because I didn't. I'm going to keep it real with you. I just don't think it's that interesting. It's a mountain, but it is also the home of many influential gods. And because of that, it became one of the most famous places in Greek mythology. But it didn't start that way. Before the Olympians, they were the Titans, who ruled the earth amid the mountains their very thrones. But after 10 long years of fierce battles, Zeus and his brother and sisters overthrew the Titans, and Zeus with his two brothers Poseidon and Hades claimed joint rulership over the cosmos. To decide who would gain each sector, they drew lots, but Zeus later won and became the supreme ruler of the gods and the lord of the sky, which also made him the king of Mount Olympus. Poseidon's prize was to become the lord of the sea, and Hades is said to have the short end of the stick, which made him the lord of the underworld, but personally, I don't agree. Which one would you prefer to reign over? The sky, the sea, or the underworld? The quest for day 75 is a quiz on Mount Olympus. It should be easy, because the day before was all about the tale of Mount Olympus. So if I don't get every answer correct, this will be kind of embarrassing. But that's just an easy question. Everyone knows the Olympians were part of Greek mythology, so it's obviously Greece. Okay, I was a little scared then. I felt too confident in the answer. Imagine if it was wrong. Okay, well I know it's not just Zeus, and there's more than 7, so it has to be 12. I'm just kidding, I know it's 12. I'm gonna go with yes. Woo! I hope this is the last quiz now. These are giving me heart palpitations. Thank the heavens. I feel like these tasks are trying to kill me off. I know I'm going to get set quests by every Olympian, so I really should have considered that these tasks are coming. The god of war is literally one of the Olympians. I'm going to get killed in Minecraft. Just like last time, I spent all day preparing my armor and items needed to prepare for this battle, and making sure I didn't forget my shield, because that will help so much along the way. As nighttime rolled on, I set off to fight the monsters laying around at night. That was not a fun experience. I almost died every second of the night. Let's never do that again. Please? Pretty please? It's the day of Poseidon. Who is Poseidon, you ask? Well, you stayed in the right place. Poseidon is the god of the sea, but what you might have not known is he is also the god of storms, earthquakes, and horses. Poseidon became the lord of the sea after he and his two brothers Zeus and Hades and the other Olympians defeated their father Kronos. Poseidon's control over the water doesn't just stop at the sea. He creates storms and earthquakes, and even creates springs. You could probably guess what Poseidon's symbol is. Yeah, it's a trident. Obviously. Now, let's talk about Poseidon's role in the contest of Athens. Poseidon was in a contest with Athena to become the protector of the city Athens. In an attempt to win the favour of the people in Athens, Poseidon struck the ground of the Acropolis with his trident and formed a spring. But unfortunately, the spring was deemed useless because it was made out of salt water, while Athena presented an olive tree as a symbol of prosperity and peace. Her gift was deemed more beneficial, so Athena became the protector of Athens. But imagine, what if Poseidon did win? What would the city even be called? Even to modern day, Poseidon's stories remain fascinating, and the legacy seems to remain, even if it might not be true. Since my days in Mount Olympus is coming to a close, I've decided to collect an item for each of the 12 Olympians, to leave them on my last day here, as a farewell gift of sorts. Each item is something I think links to each of the deities. For Artemis, I crafted a bow. For Apollo, the item I'm given is the blank canvas for his art, an axe for Hephaestus, raw goat meat for Ares, a loaf of bread for Demeter, a ray flower for Hera, an apple for Aphrodite, an iron helmet for Athena, a glass of honey for Hermes, grapes for Dionysus, oak saplings for Zeus, and a horse saddle for Poseidon. I set all these gifts aside to give on the final day. The goddess I've chosen to build the next shrine for is Athena. As always, I began the foundation of the shrine to link to the goddess herself, with various different items and blocks. After the structure of the foundation is done, I started painting the centerpiece. I'm going to be painting Athena's symbol, which is the owl, which is also the symbol of the city Athens, which was named after Athena. After the painting was done, I placed it in the correct spot, added the final touches and placed an offering for the goddess and went on my way. Today I decided to add the improvements on everything I've built so far, which honestly wasn't too much. I'm quite happy with the structure of most of my builds. I just spent the day adding small improvements to each of my builds, by adding different blocks in some spaces and adding more textures to places that lack it. I'm quite happy with what came out of it. I think I did well with the building in these last 80 days, considering I've never built before in Minecraft without watching a tutorial. This is pretty good, and I do not care what your opinion is. It is good, thank you. It's the day of Hephaestus. What is he the god of, you ask? He is the god of fire, forges, volcanoes, and blacksmithing. His sacred animal is the donkey, and he can be seen riding some from time to time. Honestly, I think the tale of Hephaestus is actually a quite sad one, to be honest. It has its good moments, but mostly it's just sad. Hephaestus' journey begins when he was born. His mother Hera didn't like his differences and threw him off Mount Olympus as a baby. He was found and raised by a woman called Thetis, who was the mother of Achilles. He spent 9 years in a cave perfecting his craft. Thetis crafted a golden throne for Hera as his revenge. When she sat upon the throne, she wasn't able to get back up, and no one was able to release her. He was called to release her, and he did, for a price. Hephaestus and Aphrodite had an arranged marriage, you could say. It was clear that Aphrodite didn't want to be with him, and was found having an affair with Ares. In my humble opinion, the marriage just shouldn't have happened, to either parties. Hephaestus went on to marry Aglaia, and the marriage is said to be stable and loving. And obviously there's some bad things that go on in each tale of mythology, just like this one. But let's not get into that here. This is a Minecraft video after all. I'm sure you know what the task is for today. If you guessed the day of the Olympian, you guessed wrong. It's to build a shrine for the Olympian Day. I've decided that I'm going to build the shrine for Hermes. When doing the Day of Hermes, I already painted his symbol, which is the caduceus. So all that's left for me to do is build his altar. After the shrine is built, I then placed his painting in the middle of it all and left some offerings linked to him. After having quite a relaxing day, I decided to relax and read different stories related to myths at the campfire. The story I read was about a tragic tale of Icarus, the boy that flew too close to the sun. Have you heard of the story Icarus? What's your favourite tragic tale? It's the day of Dionysus. I haven't talked too much about him during these 100 days, only during the building of his shrine. I have yet to be assigned a task dedicated to him, but I am excited for when I do. Dionysus is the god of festivals and wine. He is obviously one of the 12 Olympians, otherwise I wouldn't be talking about him. But he was the last one to be considered an Olympian. Dionysus' parents were Zeus and Semele, making him the only god with a mortal parent. During her pregnancy, she got tricked by Hera, making her ask Zeus if she could see his full form. Unable to break the oath he made, Zeus had to comply. She was then consumed by the heat of his lightning bolts. Zeus saved Dionysus by sewing him to his thigh and carried him to full term. Later, he was cared for by the nymphs of Mount Nysa. Honestly, being the god of festivals just sounds really fun. What would you like to be the god or goddess of? Comment down below. On day 85, the task was to build a shrine for the Olympian deity. Out of all the deities left, I decided today I was going to build the shrine for the goddess Artemis. Just like with Hermes, I've already painted Artemis's painting, which is of her symbol, the bow and arrow. So all that's left for me to do is build her altar to the vibe. After everything is done, I place the painting in the perfect place and add the offerings around the shrine. I like the idea of making different shrines for the deities because it feels like I'm honouring them for who they are, instead of building the same thing for everyone. I don't really know if that makes sense, but it kinda does in my head, so I'm just gonna go with it. Today's quest was for me to build a picnic spot for the goddess Aphrodite. so I had to search for the perfect place. Once I found the perfect spot, I've started out using the materials I earned throughout my time here to craft 2 different colours of carpet to make what looks like a picnic mat. After placing it down, I added a picnic basket, which quite honestly is just a barrel with a trapdoor, but be imaginative. And finally, adding all my finishing touches, such as decorating the surrounding area to make it look cute. Can't have a picnic area without it being cute. I also placed some food inside the barrels to make it look like the basket is full. Honestly, I think I did pretty well with this task. It looks cute and it was made with love, so it's suitable for Lady Aphrodite, obviously. I'm sure you've all been waiting for this day. It's the day of Ares. Who is he, you ask? Well, he is none other than the god of war himself. It is said his worship was not that extensive in Greece, unlike the other deities. He was just not popular, which I honestly don't know how, considering I feel like I've always shared about the god of war. But Ares represents the distasteful aspects of brutal warfare and slaughter. But that is not all. Yes, he is considered the god of war, but he is also considered the god of battle lust, courage, and civil order. I talked about it a little on Hephaestus' day, but Ares had an affair with the goddess Aphrodite, and was later trapped in a golden net with Aphrodite by her husband at the time, to humiliate them in front of the other gods. And honestly, I don't think it worked, but each to their own. Ares sided with the Trojans during the Trojan War, but at first he promised his mother Hera and sister Athena that he would fight with the Greeks in the war, but he was persuaded to break that alliance by Aphrodite herself, and fought for the Trojans. He was wounded by the Greek hero Diomedes, who drove a spear into his side, and Ares fled away. Ares' sacred animal was the serpent, but he was also associated with certain birds such as vultures. To end this day, I set down some offerings of goat meat at the fire pit, because I have yet to make a shrine for Ares. Maybe in the next coming days. You saw the quest. Today's shrine is for the goddess Hera. As with Artemis, during the day of art I painted the painting of Hera's symbols. I decided to paint the flower lotus, which is done out of the way. All I needed to do now was build the perfect shrine for Hera. She is the queen of gods and goddesses, so we have to make sure it's suitable for her. After building the perfect altar that links to Hera, I set the painting in the middle and placed down any offerings that relate to her. What do you think about these shrines? Do you see my visions? I don't care, but I see the visions. But do you? This deity is arguably one of the most important goddesses in Greek mythology. Today is the day of Demeter. This is Demeter. She is the goddess of agriculture, grain, and bread. She sustained mankind with the earth's rich bounty. Demeter obviously plays a big role in the story of Persephone and Hades, because that is her daughter. It ended with Persephone having to return to Earth for 6 months in the spring and return to the underworld for 6 months during autumn, which was 1 month for every pomegranate seed Persephone ate. Demeter had 3 children, called Persephone, Arion, and Plutus. Demeter was one of the Olympians that was swallowed by her father Kronos when she was born, and she was rescued by her brother Zeus. Her symbols were the scythe, cornucopia, wheat, bread, and harvest grains. Her sacred animals are the pig and snake. Demeter had control over the harvest and the growing grains. She could make plants grow or not grow, but also had the control of weather and the seasons. In my opinion, she was one of the most important deities. People quite literally needed her to survive. What's your opinion? Do you think she was important, or do you think people would have survived without her? Comment down below. You heard the task. Today I decided to build a shrine for Ares, the god of war, the spirit of battle. To relate to the theme of Ares, I wanted to build this altar with a more darkish aspect, kinda gothic, to fit the god of war perfectly. And honestly, I think my vision did very well. As I set out to paint Ares' symbol, the one I chose to paint is his spear, which represents who he is. Once that's finished, I placed it in the correct spot and added raw goat meat as an offering to him, along with my helmet. I hope he enjoys this shrine, and it represents well for him and that he likes it. It's been 91 days. I was wondering when I would get my task from Poseidon. I think this may be the last task set by an Olympian. Okay, so I've got to build a water feature. I've already built a fountain. What other features can I build? And where would I get the water from? I guess I could take some water from the fountain. I think that almost everything is built now for the mountain, so maybe I can add a natural waterfall that comes from the peak of the mountain. I think that will look pretty, and it will go with the aesthetic of Mount Olympus that I'm going for. I just need to find the perfect spot for it, without it taking the attention of anything else. After finding the perfect spot for the waterfall, I grabbed my bucket and collected the water from the fountain and made my way to the area I decided to do this task. I placed the water and completed the task Poseidon set. I think this just goes perfect with everything here. It looks so natural too. I wonder if it would be one of those fully natural waterfalls that will always run. That would be pretty cool. It's the last day of the Olympian, and who better to leave to last than the main man himself? The day is dedicated to the king of gods himself, Zeus. If you've heard of Greek mythology, you've heard of Zeus. Not only is Zeus the king of gods, he is also the god of the sky, lightning, thunder, and justice. Zeus quite obviously lives in Mount Olympus, along with the other Olympians, 11 to be exact. It's quite obvious that Zeus has a lot of children, from a lot of different affairs. But honestly, most of these shouldn't have even happened, and he clearly had a lot of issues with the word consent. But let's not get into that here. Zeus's symbols were the thunderbolt, eagle, bird, and the oak tree. After defeating his father Kronos, Zeus and his two brothers Poseidon and Hades each became rulers of their own domain. Zeus became the ruler of the sky and air, Poseidon the ruler of water, and Hades the ruler of the underworld. Now, all the days of the deities are done. Which one was your favourite to learn about? Personally, mine is always going to be Apollo, because it's the first day. But what's yours? Today I'm going to be talking about what is said to be one of the most important events in Greek mythology, the Trojan War. The Trojan War was between the Greeks and the city of Troy. This happened after Paris of Troy took Helen from her husband, the king of Sparta, Menelaus. This battle has been told in many different works of Greek literature throughout time. The Trojan War was said to have started after the abduction of Helen. Menelaus got his brother to lead a voyage to find and get her back with the help of many Greek heroes, such as Odysseus, Nestor, Achilles, and Ajax. The Trojan War lasted 10 years. It finally ended when the Greeks retreated from their camp and left behind a large wooden horse outside the gates of Troy. There were many debates on whether to bring the horse inside the city, and even though there were many warnings not to do so, the horse was brought into the city. And then at night time, the horse opened up, and out came the Greek soldiers. From inside the city, the soldiers were able to destroy the city of Troy and win the war. The deities in support of the Trojans were Aphrodite, Apollo, Artemis, and Ares, who switched sides during the battle. This is one of the earliest recorded myths that was written down, and is said to be one of the most important. How fascinating is that? Today is a special day. It's the final task for building a shrine for the Olympian. That's not to say it isn't my favorite task, because it is. But this just means I'm one step closer to going home. We've done every Olympian but one. Who is he, you ask? Well, the god of sea himself, Poseidon. So you know I had to incorporate water in this altar, just like I did fire for Hephaestus. I decided to paint Poseidon's symbol first, which is arguably the most famous one, his trident. I've said this every time and I'll say it again, I am not an artist, but I think I've done okay with this painting. Now, let's just put this aside so I can start on the foundation of his altar. The altars are all built the same really, just with different aspects that link to the chosen deity. With that built, let's add the water to make it suited for Poseidon. I think this looks really cool. Let's put the painting in the rightful place, and finally, the last shrine for the Olympian god is complete. Which one of these shrines are your favourite? I personally really like Hephaestus' one because of the fire. Which one is yours? As you can see, the quest for day 95 is called the final quiz. It's actually kind of bittersweet when you think about it. I've been here for 95 days, and there's only 5 days left. I think I'm going to be good at this quiz, because to be honest, I feel like I've learned a lot during my time here. I'm quite hyped. Let's do this. Oh, this is easy. Let me count down my fingers. Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Dionysus, Hephaestus, Aphrodite, Ares, Apollo, Artemis, Demeter, Athena, and Hermes. Yeah, I think that's all of them. I counted 12. In a rather unusual way, I tell you that. She came from Zeus's head. I'm going to go with Apollo. Well, Zeus's father is called Kronos, and he is Poseidon's brother. So the answer I'm going with is going to be Kronos. Okay, is that the final question? I think it is. I did well. Did you do well? Don't lie. Oh my god, there's only 4 days left. It seems my days of planning and preparing aren't over yet. I think this may be my final task. There's only 4 days left, not much left to do now. The quest for today, as you can see, is pay for the festival. So I guess I'm in charge of this festival. And since Dionysus is the god of festivals, I'm guessing this has something to do with him. And I know I'm kind of struggling to pronounce names, but don't worry about it. Carry on. I've been given a chest full of different items that I'm guessing they want me to use to plan out a festival. By tomorrow? So the first thing I did was find the perfect area for the festival and started planning out things I wanted to build as well as different foods and events to take part in during the festival. Quite honestly, I don't actually believe anyone else is counting on this mountain, so I'm pretty sure this is just going to be a festival for one. But that's okay, I can still make it perfect, at least perfect for me. After spending the day building and planning everything out for the big day tomorrow, I went to bed with a little bit of excitement pumping in my chest. Today's the festival. I know it's going to be good because, well, I planned it all. I can't wait. I made my way over to the area where the festival was taking place and spent the day eating food and playing games.
This was a good festival. Well done.
Oh, thank you. And he's gone. Who was that? Was that the man himself? He had grapes in his hand, so it might have been him. Well, if it was, I'm glad he enjoyed it. I guess that means I passed my quest. I don't know why he disappeared straight away though. How strange. I think it's time for bed. It's been a long day. Just because I'm leaving Mount Olympus on day 100 doesn't mean I can't leave a piece of me here to be remembered by. So today, come with me to make a time capsule. I just find the fact that historians could dig up this mysterious box and wonder which date he left it kind of funny. What would you even put in something like this? It has to be something that wouldn't go bad, so maybe no food. I'm thinking a helmet. Ooh, and the journal. I could chuck a painting in there too. Something that would confuse people that find it. I think this looks alright. Maybe I'll just add more later. Can you believe it? It's actually day 99. I'm going home tomorrow. The day is finally here. I've been through so much. Let's look back. It's day 1. Your task for today is to find and craft the rest of your iron armor. On day 20, I was tested on my knowledge of the 12 legendary Olympians. Ooh, a treasure hunt. It's the day of Apollo. It's the day of Hera. It's the day of Hermes. It's Aphrodite Day. Let's talk about Hades. It's the day of Artemis. It's the day of Poseidon. It's the day of Hephaestus. It's the day of Dionysus. It's the day of Ares. Today is the day of Demeter. It's the day of Zeus. It's the last day. I've done a lot in just 99 days. I'll remember this experience forever. I'm kind of grateful in a way that I found myself stuck on this mountain. I've come so far. But I am ready to go home now. Today's the day. I get to go home. I can't wait. I wonder how it's going to happen. Hopefully it won't take long.
Hello.
Oh my heavens. I forgot you would be here.
We've been watching you.
Not creepy at all, that.
We have been impressed with how you've handled each task that got set.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
You are considered a worthy warrior. Well done on such a high accomplishment.
Cool. So, how do I get home?
Your time on Mount Olympus will end as you go through the portal in the floor.
Didn't see it there. Thank you. Oh, and he's gone. Let's do this. Well, I guess this is goodbye. In a bit now, Mount Olympus.